Howdy folks, my name is Lance090 and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, where we might be ready to try the Lunar 1 rocket here. This is Moonlander rocket 4 Kerbals. Again, I don't think we're not gonna name every single mission anymore because it's a little crazy. It's kind of fun from like like creating a history here, but it's just kind of a pain in the butt. All right, with all this one, we might try to take it to the moon. I don't know. I think we're just gonna play this one by ear because this thing's a little bit of a mess, to be honest with you, but we're gonna try to make it work. Lunar 1, we got Jebediah, we got Bob. No, we don't want to go straight to the moon because I want to make sure Bob gets leveled up. Probably just put this thing in orbit and then bring it back home. Because I think if he levels up, he can get us more science value, and you can't, the way we have it set, he doesn't level up in space. Yeah, we lost a bunch of stages, but that's okay. He's not going to level up in space, basically, is what it comes down to. So, we'll level him up first and then send him to the moon. All right. There's a lot of parts here, so I'm just very concerned about messing up. Here we go. Indeed, definitely seems like we needed the 4 outer rockets here. Because we're actually not going that fast, considering we have 5 engines running. Definitely feel heavy too. I feel like we're definitely getting pulled to the right. It isn't too bad, but if it gets out of control like that, it almost got out of a little control there. It could be bad. Again, I don't know if we want to see these air markings. Oop, there's a collision there, so those probably aren't going to recover. We might recover their... Ooh, geez. Gotta focus. Ah, frick. There's no friggin' Kerbal engineer on this thing. Every time. I guess I need to install MechJeb and Kerbal engineer. There's one that just put it so there's a Kerbal engineer on every pod. I don't have an easy way to check my altitude. I think you can do it somehow up here, but... Got my 85,000 target. That's usually what I aim for. Or what I have been aiming for. I don't know if it's what I should be aiming for. Okay, good. They all turned on. I think you used to have to do them one at a time. Didn't seem like having all this stuff exposed was too much of a problem. I guess because the air effects were there. That does tend to indicate that maybe they were producing drag, so possibly what I could do is I could use the tweak scale to make a larger fairing size so that we can get it in the fairing. Oh, and by the way, the reason we don't want to send only Bob up is because Bob doesn't have any of these controls. I could slap an SAS on here, but then it'd be heavier. I don't think we have a good SAS either. We don't have one that has prograde and retrograde yet, so having Jeb along, perfectly fine. Eat. See the G-forces? Good. Yeah, fully full. Middle stage asparagus staging is just insane, man, how effective it is. It's weird that solar panels don't extend in pairs if the lights turn on in pairs, but it's fine. One thing that can be fun to do is set up an action group that deploys all your stuff. So you can just deploy everything all at once you're in space. All the gear this thing has. Or all the fuel in this stage. This huge stage. It's still kind of struggling to get us into space here. This is a big old honker right here. Hopefully we can find out some science that we don't need to take with us every time. And I bet one small supplies that are like this size is probably lighter than 4 of these. But we don't have it unlocked yet, so. Pull up a little bit here. Our apps a bit. Okay. Gonna keep this stage. I don't know if with 50 meters a second I'll be able to return it to Kerbin, but I'm gonna try. The main thing is let's rotate. Just to make Mob's EVA a little simpler, because I'm gonna have him EVA. All right. There might still be some material study data here. Indeed, there is. I wonder. Man, the stage is gonna be heavy. I hope it has enough parachutes. It should. Doubt we'll get anything else out of these, but okay, the atmosphere analysis thing, I think it can only be done in atmospheres. So, not really going to be able to use it except on Kerbin. Well, any of the planets probably are fine, but well, I bet it's not good on Moho. I bet Moho doesn't have an atmosphere. A laser is only usable on surfaces. Mystery goo. A little bit of mystery goo data. I mean, I'm sure there's nothing left in these. All right, we're just going to have Bob EVA. Very carefully. There's no reason for him to do this because it's attached in a safe place, but I'm just going to have him collect the data and restore this just to make sure he gets like XP for EVAing and grabbing science and stuff. Okay. All right, now check these real quick. Some of our stages made it, some didn't. That's fine. Gonna warp to the apoaps. All the way around. So if I'm gonna get this back in the atmosphere, we're gonna have to bring down the periaps for the highest chance of success. Okay. Point me retrograde. There should be enough command and control here once we get rid of this stage in the future. Shouldn't need an extra SAS. that break off. Totally didn't need this stage for this mission, but might as well send it. Put a little bit more space between me and that one real quick. And I'm going to get rid of you. Just being very careful with my staging here. All right. Oh, I didn't think things through. I'm thinking about how I can use this. Yeah, that's okay. Modern problems require modern solutions. Gonna detach when those detach. Like, oh my god, this thing is gonna be really heavy because there's a fuel and engine on it that shouldn't be there. Oops, reset. Should be okay, but it's a little scary. It's a little scary. Like, I can probably burn the engine. Actually, we should at least try. We should see what happens. Because sometimes if the engine is burning into something, it doesn't produce any thrust. Okay. Ooh, it warmed up. That's scary. I can burn fuel without lowering the periaps. I can tell that much. But it actually burns through the ablator. That's that's interesting. Okay. I might be able to use it as we go down, but I don't know. It's probably going to stick around through the parts where we really don't want it. I feel like these lights are burning a lot of power because even though we're in full sunlight, power is going down pretty steeply, but track the panels. Yeah, we're not in space anymore, so I'm going to turn the lights. Well, not going to be in space here soon. Alrighty. This thing's a little heavy. It's a little bit heavy. I wonder if I put drogue chutes on those parts if they'd have a better time. I think they'd still have to get out of low distance, though. That's the main thing. Hope Jebediah has enough control, too, because, like, this is all... That's a lot of dead weight. Well, good thing we figured this out here instead of in orbit of the Mun. That's why NASA did this sort of stuff, you know? They didn't go straight to the moon as soon as they had Apollo. They up and running. They sent it around the Earth once. They sent it around the moon once. Well, I mean, it's freaking Apollo 11 that landed on the moon, right? So 10 other Apollos that didn't even make a moon landing. Obviously, they want to make an oversight like this one, but just other things they want to make sure they're getting right, you know? But this is a good demonstration of why it's a good idea to test first. Okay, I might lose the landing legs. That'll be fine. As long as it doesn't, like, make the spacecraft itself start, like, rotating. Keep an eye on our G-forces. Keep an eye down here. Keep an eye on these. Once we don't need the heat shield, we can jettison everything else. It's just we need the heat shield right now. We need the heat shield. Something awful. Little bumpy. Honestly, might be a good thing that these are producing some extra drag for us. Just because of how heavy we are. Might be able to jettison the heat shield with the drogue chutes, not necessarily our main chutes. Actually, we can jettison the heat shield separately and actually use our engine for some extra deceleration. I think we're going to lose these landing legs here in a moment. I think they honestly probably served us well. Served us well as deceleration. It did change the physics of the craft, so Jebediah is having a little bit of trouble keeping it on target, but he's making it. Oh man, he's in the rough now. Please, Jebediah. You're scaring me because you're not like directly in the center. I don't want to have to take over for you, but if I have to, I will. It'd be okay. I gotta take over, I think. He's getting real off track. Okay, you take over, Jebediah. That was wrong. I'm gonna help you steer. I think I can. I think we're gonna have to work together on this one, Jebediah. Okay, that's the way to go. Is to work with them, not to try to just totally take over, because oh jeez. Jebediah. It's a real fucking bronco, Jebediah. Just a little bit more. I hear that we're slowing down, but I can't really look. I think we're done with the heat shield. Haha! Controlled descent, mother effer. Intentional. Send it. Ooh. Don't get hit though. What the heck? We had two heat shields. No wonder we were so heavy. Jesus. That's a lot of G-forces. All right. Christ. Okay, mistakes were made with the design of this thing. There's still stuff above us, maybe. No, I think that's just the parachutes, but... Wow, okay. I'm glad I did that test there, because... Is that going to be enough parachutes to slow us down once we're... Another heat shield. Definitely not going to get out on this one. We're going a decent little bit faster than we were that other descent. Well, thing or two is learned here. Coupler, Wildcat. It's like that was like the main stage. The tear engine blew up. Yep. Bunch of impact marks on the ground. Well, we learned a thing or two about a thing or two here. Bonk. Clunk. All right. Get a new material study. Jail shows little signs of change. Though one of your samples appears to be judging you silently. Well, curious. There's actually a few things we could do here, especially if we can get a solar panel extended. If we could flip the craft over, it'd be even better, but one solar panel might do it. I'm just thinking I could conduct a material study, transmit half of it. No, there's no comms device on the vessel. It's okay. Might as well pop this bad boy open. Run an atmosphere of analysis of the grasslands. No data there. And the data was in you. Very, very little. Honestly say observe here instead. You should actually work here because puff of smoke indicate the surface is covered with flammable compounds. More study is suggested. There's so little science here on Kerbal now. It's insane. Grasslands, like 2 science. So tiny compared to like the mun and stuff, you know? VA report from the grasslands, take a surface sample, get back on board, and recover the vessel. That one was a little strange. Strange mission, but it worked. Sometimes you just have to improvise, adapt, and overcome, you know? .98 science, actually pretty decent. Bob leveled up. That's what we were really looking for. Let's get him his stripes. And see what we can get with the science. Maybe we can get... There's the better landing legs, which is pretty tempting, of course. The crew cabin's really nice for doing those escort missions. Here's the larger fairings. So I don't have to resize them, although we'll say. Not critical, because we can just rescale. It's a little bit of cheating, though. I honestly think I want the better life support thing. No, it's only one part compared to, like, tons of other ones, but let's go fix these rockets just in case I forget between episodes. So, you know what? The problem was I just dragged this thing in and it had its own heat shield, right? That's fixed. Life support. see, I'm just trying to find the right one so I can compare and contrast. Life support supplies 0 point or 0.030939 tons really. Support supplies, this one. Yeah, I think one of those is cheaper than a bunch of these. These appear to be energy resources, but I've never seen this type on Earth. What else was a problem? There was more problems, right? Or was it just that that one was so bad that it, it derailed everything else? I could have swore there was one more, though. Was it a staging issue? Boop-a-boop. Do-do. Should be fine. Do-do. Should be fine. Do. I think that's right. Felt like there was more than one issue, though. Just making sure. Just making sure that was still there. All right. Lunar 2. I think Valentina actually has like all the world's first, so I think we need to send Jebediah. You only get 5% extra experience. But your science generation rate is higher. I don't know. I guess that's long-term science generation with like a space station. Resource converter efficiency, increased drill efficiency. So you only want him for like resource gathering. I almost never bring Bill anywhere. Poor Bill. his abilities just aren't as good as the other two. But that's all the time we have for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, remember hit the like button, keep the conversation going in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Until next time, hope you have a good day.